Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. You may have noticed it's a little bit chilly in here, and that's because it's getting close to Christmas. And yes, that also means that you're going to start hearing a lot more Christmas music on the channel. Now, we're not going to go for just standard Christmas music. We're going to be looking for a variety. You can expect some a cappella music, some metal, and we're going to be kicking it off today with the queen of being able to sing a variety of styles herself, Floor Jansen, performing Let It Go. So Let It Go is one of the big songs from the first Frozen movie, Disney, of course. So this is going to be really fascinating because you think about, well, how does the queen of metal with classical training switch to sing a Disney song that's really written in the style of musical theater? Whoa. I'm so excited to see what she does with it. Let's get to it.
A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. The wind is howling like this whirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in, heaven knows I've tried.
This is going to blast off into something really cool. I can tell already. I love hearing how Floor is using, I would say, just more of her mouth. She's using way more colors than you would normally find in a Disney princess voice. Usually Disney princess is going for something that is a lot more clean, super consistent, and it tends to have a little more innocence to it a lot of times. Her voice has got it has a lot of edge, similar to the unusual choice of Idina Menzel, who's the original singer of Let It Go in the film. These two ladies both have a lot of edge, but Idina is going to be that musical theater trained sound where it's going to be forward and really hanging out mostly in that same consistent placement. Floor is playing a lot more with where that placement is here. So she'll pull it back. You can hear her kind of almost like rolling it by different areas on her hard palette as she's going through those colors too. I also loved hearing a little more fry in her voice. Like every now and then she'd do like a kind of sound where it has like just a little bit, just the teensy bit of gravel on it, just to give it a little more style. You get like a hard rock feeling already. Let's go back and listen to that one more time, just from where Floor starts singing. Oh, by the way, this was really cool, going from black and white to color. I was very interested in that, kind of curious to see if that changes again throughout the video.
Right on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. The wind is howling like this whirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in, heaven knows I've tried. Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, let it go. Turn away and slam the door. I don't care what they're going to say. Let the storm rage on. The cold never bothered me anyway.
This is super fun. It's also fun knowing the song better. A lot of times when I've listened to Floor in Nightwish songs, I don't know the song. It's usually my first time hearing it. So I feel like I don't always stop in the best places, but I know the breaks in the song a lot better. So hopefully there'll be a little bit better places to pause. I was really curious if she would take up a belt or if she'd flip to a full head voice here, and it really sounded like she took up kind of like a mixed belt there. I think it's fascinating to hear her voice, and I feel like she's actually chanting a little bit of Idina's timbre through her voice. So she's taken some inspiration from that. I hear that in that placement choice again. Flora often has a little more what I call loft happening in her voice, so she'd have like a little more dome. But she would use that much more when doing something classical in nature, or maybe like a classical section that would be within a metal song. So here she has like more snarl, it even has a little more nasal resonance at times, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But it has that point to it that I associate a little bit with Idina. So it's really fascinating to hear how she's taken that sound that many of us are used to hearing and given just a little tiny shade of that so that we feel like, oh yeah, that's the same character, but it's Flora's version of that character. I find that particularly cool. I also, let's go back to this belting section. Hold it back anymore. Yeah, right here. I wanted to listen to that one more time. One of the things I really enjoy about Flora is I think she supports her voice really well. In a lot of these clips, I don't know if this is the same version of a recording that was then produced later, not sure. But in these video clips here, you can see that she's often in a position that helps to keep her rib cage expanded. So the way that her arm is out there, that helps keep that rib cage expanded. That lets your air not crash into your larynx quite as quickly, keeps a really nice breath capacity available as well. And even when she first took a breath all the way back there, you could already see she's really aware of having that feeling of a lot more expansion, a lot more width. It even looks like she's aware of that probably across the back of her rib cage too. That's really, really good method of supporting her voice. Her facial expressions in this. It's just great. And you hear how those facial expressions affect her timbre as well, right? When she raised an eyebrow, you could hear in her voice like a little more mischief or a little more imagination in there. And she has so many different layers, the different emotions she's bringing to us. It feels like a woman who has lived, but is really excited about this message of letting things go. I also think it's really sweet. When I was reading about her doing this song, she was inspired by her daughter, who just really, really loves Frozen. So of course, that's a really great match for Flora to sing. And I imagine that as a mother, it must add a lot of different elements to that emotional layer. I think it's really cool to see that coming out both on her face and in her voice. Let's go back a little bit so you see that too.
It's time to see what I can do. That's the limit and break. No right, no wrong, no rules for me. I'm free.
to go back and check this. I was really, really curious about what register she would use on that. That's a hard note to hit, the Here I Stand. And so the very first one, sometimes people will do like sort of like a mixed belt, which would be technically your head voice, but reinforced there. And then they'll drop into a full chest belt. I think that that's what she did. And then maybe she did just chest belt on the last, but that's one of the ways that she had like a little, like almost like a little cry into a lower note. Here. Yeah. So you hear how she had that little cry there? I think that was when she was re-entering a full chest belt. And some people will take the chest all the way up. It sounded like she went to a mix that had more head involved there. I liked that choice a lot because I liked the oomph emphasis that it put on the lower note. It made it feel like the top one didn't pop out of the texture. Instead, it actually fills out as she continues through the phrase. So I like that choice musically a lot. So you can hear that she didn't do the cry the second time. And I'm curious why. I like the variety of the phrasing, and I wonder if that was her intention, or if maybe she was attaching it to some lyrical idea. Not sure, but I really like what she chose there. So much power in her voice.
Through the air into the ground, my soul is spiraling in frozen fractals all around, and one thought crystallizes like an icy blast. I'm never going back, the past is in the past. Let it go.
I love the musical arrangement choice of this section. It's the bridge, and so it needs to have somewhere to grow at the end into a final chorus. You have to think about how each of your sections contribute to the whole. And so right here, it's a good idea to do something different, but that will make it feel like it's still growing. That also leaves room to have a big climactic ending. What they did here is I think they have just a low guitar, I believe, that's playing just a couple of notes, and they're relying just on Floor's voice along with Floor's harmonies. You can hear her singing backing vocals with herself, really in sort of a lighter head voice to give it a little more contrast to her lead vocal here. And that allowed the different key changes that are happening. You get a little bit of drums and bass at that moment when there's some big key changes or when there's a big moment in this bridge. It allowed that to shift and be something new. And then when you come back to the chorus, it's able to have a big, like, expansive moment. Let's go back and appreciate that just a little bit more.
My soul is spiraling in frozen fractals all around, and one thought crystallizes like an icy blast. I'm never going back, the past is in the past. Let it go, let it go. And rise like the brink of dawn. Let it go, let it go. The perfect girl is gone. Here I stand in the light of day. Let the storm rage on. Hope never bothered me anyway.
We're going to go back just a little bit. Check out how wonderful her mouth opening is. You guys know that I love it when singers open up their mouths really wide to just let out those big notes. That's a great sign of release in the jaw. That tends to help with tongue position in the back to let the note be high in a good way. She is so good at having fantastic mouth opening for her high notes. Watch this. Like even she's singing Let It Go. Go is actually a closed vowel, O. And she's like, no. This is a high bell 2 note. Go. Her mouth is open, but you can still absolutely understand her. She's modifying this vowel to make a timbre that is more consistent with the other timbres and to also have a vocal tract positioning that makes it easier to produce that note higher. So there, instead of singing day, she's singing day. There's like a little ah before it goes to the A vowel. Again, vowel modification and perfectly executed. I love that there isn't even a slam with the band at the end. It's like, nah, Floor's got this. And she gets to put down the period at the end of the song to be like, boop, done, did it, awesome. This is such a fantastic arrangement of Let It Go. I feel like Let It Go was always meant to have some metal in it. And then hearing Floor's maturity that she brings while still having those like really edgy vocals that we originally heard, I liked getting that blend together. I felt like it really gave the song an extra level of depth. It was also just really cool to see this up close shot of Floor singing the whole time. So you could take a little bit more interest in those vowel shapes and also get to see how she was supporting with some really awesome rib expansion. Thank you to all of you who recommended this and let us know that it had just come out. I'm so glad that we're able to catch it and kick off our Christmas season with Let It Go as performed by Floor. Please keep making those recommendations down below this YouTube video. And also come and say hello to me on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m. Arizona time. I'm here on YouTube for live premieres. And you can also find me on Patreon or at thecharismaticvoice.com. I'll see you guys somewhere soon.